Okay, hello once again, gamers, and welcome back. We've got another one up on the chopping block. We've got another Rival Battles preview interview between two of our racers here today. We got Vintage McNugget and Mutated Bacon, who are going to be facing off against each other in a Rose LTS race. How are you two doing today, Vintage? How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I just ate dinner. Well,
I
Tethys
am
waited for
doing
me for 20
fine.
minutes.
Yeah, it's a little late. It's a little late British time. We're coming up on midnight, but hey, for the people, for the folks, we power through.
For the band.
And how are you, Bacon? How are you feeling today?
I am feeling fine. More than fine. Fantastic.
You feeling okay?
Good stuff.
Yes.
Great stuff. Fantastic. Brilliant stuff. Well, let's talk a little bit about what we got here coming up on the table. So, the way this race has come about is interesting because originally both of you just submitted to the marathon as individual runs, and you know we didn't want to have one without the other, so we thought we'd say, hey, you know what, you guys are relatively close on the board. Why not we shake it up a bit, make it a bit interesting. We'll make it a race. I reached out to
Mhm.
both of you, and yeah, so here we are. Um, what are you thinking with that one then? Obviously switching things up, switching away from this individual category to a race. You feeling ready? You feeling excited? You feeling like looking forward to showing off Rose LTS at the marathon? What are you thinking? How are you feeling, Vintage?
I mean, I'm excited. I mean, I just got a 37,
Mm-hmm.
so a lot of the pressure of needing to PB or whatever won't be towards the run, the race that we're doing. So I'm just gonna have a lot of fun, basically.
Yeah.
So I don't know about Bacon. Bacon, what are you thinking? Because you
I'm
just took a
thinking
break
that
for a
I
little
am
bit.
ready I'm ready, and I think that it was a very smart decision on your end to make it a race.
Mm. Well, shout out Hypnotics for that because I remember one time myself and Alpha submitted the same category to something, so we ended up making that a race, and I was like, ah, oh, that's a good idea. I'm just gonna steal that, and we're gonna do that. But
Yeah.
yeah, no. So
I mean,
I'm
yeah.
glad you both are on
I'm
board,
glad that
and
it's like the standard to make that decision.
mm, I'm glad we got this whole little block going on and able to show off a lot of cool races. And yeah, obviously this category we've seen you both in and around it plenty of times. We've seen a lot of attention on it recently, Rose LTS. Why don't you both talk to me a little bit about sort of your history with Rose LTS and just kind of Sonic Heroes in general? So I'll start with Vintage.
Well, I've been running this game for I want to say 2 years. My first upload was a 49, and right now we have a 34. So I think that's a big difference there. I also think that the Sonic Heroes um, runners we have a lot more than we used to. I mean, when I uploaded my time, I was 20th place with only 25 different runners that we had at the time, and active runners. I think we only had like 8. So now to have pretty much 50 runners on the board,
Mm,
and me being 8th place, and then Bacon being I think top 15, I want to say, right?
mm,
I mean, it's good that we're expanding, in the heroes community. And I'm curious if the GSA Chaotix LTA battle is going to help grow the community even more than it already has, because of the Rose tournament previously. So
yeah,
I'm curious to see what's going to happen. I mean,
yeah, Heroes definitely getting a lot of shining light on it lately.
absolutely, absolutely.
And so yeah, no, it's your kind of intro to the game and kind of main focus of the game has been Rose in that case then, Vintage.
Yes, I've been focusing on Rose since I started. I think finally now that I have a 37, I can finally say, you know what, I can take a break for a little bit. I've got
Def-
top 10 ones. That's fine by me.
That'd be a good way to. So this will be a nice way to kind of maybe, uh, not necessarily close it out, but it would be a nice little thing to have before maybe looking at some other avenues. That'd be cool.
Yeah, before trying something different.
Mm. And then for you, Bacon, what about you? What's your general history like with the game and with Rose LTS?
Alright, so I started running the game around like early last year, believe it or not. So like I've only been running the game for a year.
Hmm.
And like just like in regards to like my general history with the game, the like since I grew up playing the game, that was pretty much like the biggest, not the biggest reason, but like a big reason for me to choose to run the game.
Mm-hmm.
But I just did it because like I liked watching speedrunners and I liked Sonic. So I just decided to combine those two passions into one and speedrun a Sonic game. And I'm really glad that I chose Heroes of all the games because by far I'd say that like this community, it's like niche enough for it to be not too much going on, but at the same time, like I'd have to agree with Vintage when he said that it's like really popping off right now, like the game and like the popularity of it being a speedrun game. And I'm glad that I'm like currently witnessing like a growth in how many people are getting interested in the game and how many people are enjoying it or like enjoying the speedrun at least. And I really hope that it like just gets even better from here. And I think that's pretty much all I can think of saying.
Well, yeah,
I
no,
think
for sure.
I think it also helps that we're all kind of all friends with each other in a way. We all talk to each other. We all take advice from one another. I mean, Disintegration just started running this game like 2 weeks ago, and he already has a 39. Like, that's super unheard of in this community. And just for how many runs he's watched of Strawberry Jam and all of us, like we're all friends and we'll all watch each other's runs and we'll all support each other's runs.
Yeah, and
So
I
I
think
think it
that
helps that it's so optimized too. Where back then it really wasn't optimized and we had Egg Fleet Warp and stuff like that. Also, Bacon, you can go now.
yeah, and I was gonna say, speaking of Strawberry Jam, like I think having someone run the game who has viewers that aren't really a part of the Heroes community also gives the game more exposure because it gets more people to be inspired to run it. Like
Yeah,
you
the
said
game
with
has.
Disintegration running the game now, like pretty recently.
Well, she also has all the other Riders people that have now, started watching Sonic Heroes content and have, transferred over into our chats and our runners and everything. Joey, Big Mikey, like Drywall, like all those people, they all have, different viewers that some watch everyone and some don't. But,
Yeah,
there's a lot more
it's
interest in the game than there used to be.
yeah, it's pretty cool how like
Absolutely, I agree with you, man.
despite the growth and despite sort of like obviously more eyes being on the community, it still feels like a very tight knit community. It kind of feels very feels like everybody knows each other, everybody's chill with each other in the Heroes community. It's pretty cool, you know? It's nice. I like
Yeah,
it.
Right.
not a single like toxic person as far like thus far.
Yeah. And so,
I mean, you have me on some days.
I mean,
I
yeah,
was gonna get
sometimes
into
we'd
that
have to deal
later.
with it, but it's not a big issue in this community.
But then again,
Uh,
we don't have that many people in general versus SE2 where you have to manage what 1,000 people or what
Yeah,
300 something like
that
that.
game's way more huge.
mm. But yeah, speaking of community and obviously sort of like connections and dynamics within it, you two going up against each other. I know, like you said, Bacon, you've only been running the game for about a year, and Vintage, near enough 2 years or so now, I think.
Yes.
But, you know, both Rose runners. Would you say it's fair to say you're a Rose main as well, Bacon?
Um, I'd say so, but I've
Mhm.
been more invested in I've honestly been more invested in Sonic LTS lately. But I
Yeah.
do want to consider myself a Rose LTS main as well, simply
Mhm.
because I just think it's a much cooler category, and it's just because I've been running it for a much longer time than I have Sonic LTS. And like Sonic LTS was the category I started off with.
Mm.
But when I transitioned to Rose LTS just to like sort of give it a try, I wasn't going into it thinking that it was going to be like my main category. But I ended
Yeah.
up loving it so much that like I wanted to like run it even more.
And so then in that case, then you've obviously seen each other kind of progress and come forward. Vintage, I know you've obviously kind of been pretty passionate about the growth of this category, and Bacon, you've probably obviously looked up to Vintage as another runner as well as you've been coming through. What's it kind of been like? What's the dynamic there in terms of rivalry, friendship, connection, going up against each other? You know.
We've known each other for the last year and a half, I'd say. So I mean, I don't see it. Well, I see us as rivals, obviously, and I think you've said the same thing. But I think that we're friendly rivals. We're just doing this to have fun. It's not like we actually care about beating each other. I mean, yes, I'd love to win, and I know you probably would love to win, but actively, it doesn't matter to me. We're just here to have fun and put on a good show. That's my opinion. What about you, Bacon?
In my opinion, I see it as a game. Like you said, we're friendly rivals, but like we knew like the all of like this the talking smack that we do to each other. It's all just for fun. We don't
It's
actually
all in
mean it.
love, yes.
Yeah,
And
that's
like
what makes it
whenever
fun,
we say like I'm gonna bop you or like no, don't you dare bop me. That's just us being like haha haha. This is so much fun.
Yeah, it's
I've
friendly
done that many a
competition.
time. I've done that many a times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
again,
we've
we
talked
will
each
we
other
will
back
touch
and
on
forth
that.
before too. I mean, what Bacon was I was ahead of Bacon, then Bacon's like, I'm just gonna bop you real quick, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna bop you too. And then now I'm ahead of Bacon for a little bit. We'll see how long that
Yeah,
lasts.
until I go back to Rose LTS and break out of my current 38 that I have.
You got
And I have
this.
a pretty high 38 as well, so to bop you is probably going to take longer than you would expect.
Yeah,
No,
well,
no, no, no,
No, I'm
no.
being serious. I don't know how good I can be to get a 37.
Oh yeah, you could get there. You could get there. 36.
Do you have
You
like
could
a
probably open up the game and be like, I'm gonna get a 36. We'll be good. So you got
36? Okay. Okay, maybe I can just go for that then.
this.
well, we'll see. We'll see. But
We'll see. Maybe
yeah,
it'll be this run. We'll
maybe,
see.
maybe. And speaking of this run, when it comes to you've obviously both competed in at least one tournament by now. So when it comes to how you approach races, when it comes to how you practice, how you prepare, what it's like approach-wise compared to no reset PB attempts, or reset PB attempts, I should say. What's the differences for you? What is it kind of like when you go into a tournament race or any kind of race? How do you prepare? What's it like for you? I'll ask you, Vintage, first.
Well, so far, I actually think I might be a little unprepared, just for the fact that I did take a couple day break, like a almost week, because like I loaded up the game today and I was like, wow, my muscle memory is kind of there, but kind of not. But as I, progressed and stuff. But I think the real difference for us is right now is doing different strats to try to improve our time. And whether those strats are laser clip and stuff like that, it depends. Bacon might go for laser clip, or I might go for laser clip, or Bacon might not go for laser clip, but I go for it, but I mess it up. Like there's all these different things that everyone else does, different strats and different things of that sort, or even small mess ups. So we're bound to, you know, we're bound to have different ways of thinking. So
Mm.
that could screw us up time wise, um, or PB wise, or winning wise. If we mess up laser clip, we're out 30 seconds.
Yeah, and then
It's
for you,
huge.
Bacon, what about you? So, when it comes to preparing for races, when it comes to your approach, how it may differ from normal gameplay, what's it like for you?
So when I'm going into a tournament where I know that I can just like lose a whole bunch of time no like at any point whether I die or just like make a really dumb mistake that costs me like a whole bunch of seconds of time loss. The way I try to counteract, for a lack of a better term, that is I try to focus on doing the strats. I, sh- I try to focus on doing the strats that are like more consistent than like the more optimal strats.
Hmm.
And like I try to basically get used to doing that for tournaments. So like for example, if I wanted to go for I can't really think of any good examples or any strats off the top of my head, but let's just say um fail like I don't know, maybe door clip and hang castle. Like sometimes like it can to me that clip is inconsistent.
Hmm.
And so like failing it a bunch of times can lose like a bunch of time. So like if I wanted to just stay consistent and just not worry about losing a whole bunch of time, I can just like maybe go the normal way throughout the level after maybe failing it like the third time.
Hmm.
So that I won't risk like failing to get into the door like 20 times in a row, losing like a minute.
Hmm.
That's basically what I try to do for these tournaments.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
consistency is like more important than optimization to me.
I agree.
Oh, sorry.
Um,
I'm not yawning at you.
I do
It's
kind of
getting very
consider
late.
them.
I figured.
You're fine. I do consider them kind of, in a way, the same-ish things. Well, consistency is more of making sure you could do the proper thing multiple times. I guess, you know, I don't know how to word it. I mean, either way, you still need to know how to play the game and at least get a decent time.
Hmm.
Yeah, and another thing is like if the strat that you're going for is consistent, but it's like way slower than like an optimal route, then it wouldn't hurt. It probably wouldn't hurt to risk doing the more optimal thing that's also like more risky. Not even just like inconsistent, but like also risky. That's another factor to it. So like it's like all dependent on like it's like going into a tournament, you just want to like try to plan out what strats you think are the safest and which strats you think might cost you the most.
Yeah,
That's
it's that
basically
matter
what I'm
of
trying to get at
yeah,
here.
it's that matter of like pre-planning and like making those choices, right? You know what it comes down to.
It's also
Yeah,
one of those things
exactly.
is that I like to do when we do runs like this because I think I've done plenty. Some I did better than others, but I think that us, you know, if someone's really far behind, I don't mind going for risky strats. Or if I'm really far behind, I will do the risky things to hope that I can maybe get back on their pace.
Hmm.
So, and
And so
sometimes I
yeah.
like to do it so people have a chance.
Hmm. And
Yeah, I
so
mean, there's
something
nothing wrong with taking a risk here and there,
no,
and it's
no.
not like a risk in a tournament is like gonna make you fail every single time you take one.
Hmm. And
Yeah.
I just kind of like to I'd like to kind of ask you something in particular, Vintage. If I'm not wrong, I think I don't know if you've been a part of Jam's Invitational series or not. I think you have been
I
sometimes,
was.
correct? Yeah.
Yes, I
But
did. I did one run when it first started. I think. What was it? It
mhm,
started in January, right? I think I
mhm.
did January 17th. I think that
Mhm.
was my run with me versus Jam.
But I know in terms of on Seisu, I think your most recent match would have been, I think it was the defeat to Pokemon Master, was it?
Yes, yes, it
Yeah.
was.
So obviously you were on the receiving end of an upset there. Is there any sort of like little bit of hope for redemption, hope for kind of, a bit of a comeback here? Show yourself back
Um,
up as, one of those Team Rose LTS guys?
I think that I think that I've come a long way since then. I
Hmm.
mean, when I was doing those races in the tournament, I only had a 39 and now I have a 37. And it was a
Hmm.
low 39 in general. I think it was a 39, 39, 30 or something along
Hmm.
those lines. So I think that, me moving forward, I think that has helped. I do think that I'm not a good racer in
Hmm.
general.
Hmm.
I'm a more, I'm more suited for doing runs and other things like that. But I do
Yeah.
races for fun. But I think I think when I do normal races, I'm like, do I really want to continue this run in a way? So that happens. But it was also me, you know, throwing to Egg Emperor, which sucks, but it happens. It happens where you mess up the muscle memory and you think that you're doing something, but you're really not. It happens. Happens with all runners, and you've probably I don't know if you watch that much Heroes, Tethys, but I think that's happened to every single Heroes person at least
Yeah.
once. I mean, it
I
happened
mean,
to
we saw it happen to
Deku.
Deku, right? Yeah.
It happened to Deku. It happened to Joey. It happened to Mikey. Like it's happened to literally every one of us, and it's inevitable. I mean,
Mm.
we know what we're doing. We can get good times. It's just whether you can get good times in the moment. There will always be someone that throws, whether it's accidental or on purpose. There will always be someone that throws. Typically, it's not on purpose, but it happens accidentally.
Mm.
So that's the
Yeah, of
problem.
course. Absolutely, yeah. And yeah, so kind of dialing back then to this race in particular. When it comes to, obviously we mentioned there, things that can go wrong in a run. When it comes to your personal sort of strengths, your personal sort of best, maybe a best stage, or maybe just a general approach that you feel like you've got in the bag that you feel is going to kind of give you an edge over Bacon. Is there anything that you kind of feel fits into your toolkit there? Anything that you're kind of looking at and thinking, yeah, that's where I win the race?
Well, if I can be honest, I haven't watched Bacon in a while because Bacon's been doing a lot of Team Sonic. So I don't know what Bacon's struggling at right now currently. I mean, when was your last Rose run, Bacon?
My last Rose run was probably I think it honestly might have actually been the Rose LTS tournament back in, like, November. So I have a lot of, like, de-rusting to do in, like, in, like, a short amount of time.
Mm,
So
that's an extra
I
one.
think that might be the biggest struggle right there. But
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what Bacon is struggling at because I just haven't seen, at Bacon play. But what I will say is typically when people do derust Rose, when they come back for like after maybe like a month or two, they typically get a better time because they're away from it and they take a break and they relearn the muscle memory and then they realize how can I save time that way. So Bacon's at a disadvantage but also at an advantage because he stepped away from the game for
Mm.
away from Rose for a little bit.
Oh,
So
well, we'll see. Would you sort of take that, Bacon? Do you think the DRS could maybe be a blessing in disguise, or are you kind of looking towards something in particular, maybe an area within that DRS that you feel like you should be focusing on primarily? Anything like major skips? What do you kind of think is going to play into your hand here?
Well, I'd kinda have to both agree and disagree with, the mentality that, like, the D-Rust can, like, help me in the long run. What like, I agree in the sense that, like, yes, I'm relearning the muscle memory, I'm relearning the game, it's all, like, coming back to me. It's like learning it all again from, like, a new from, like, square one. Well, not square one, but, like, kinda close. But, like, it's, like, making me more motivated to just, like, get better at the game, and it's, like, gonna get me to get a better time, like Vintage said. And I do think that that can, like, help me, like, in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
But where I disagree is that maybe the pressure of me not playing the game for a long time can, like, sort of make me nervous, I guess. And so that can kind of put a damper on how I race, or run the game, I guess, in a certain way, even though I'm technically refreshing my memory with the game. I don't know. It's a very conflicting situation
Hmm.
where on one hand, like, you know that you're gonna, like, go into this all like refreshed and stuff, but like at the same time you're going into it kind of anxious because like you have a feeling that like not playing for a long time is gonna like mess you up.
I mean, I wouldn't be nervous. I mean, it's not like it's. I'm gonna play like it's. I'm just having fun. Like we can race and stuff like that, but I wouldn't be nervous over it. It's not like it's really like. It's not like your PB pace right away. You know what I mean? Like it's not like you're starting out and you're like, okay, I need to be super consistent at this because right now you're not chasing for a PB. You're chasing to try and beat someone. So
Exactly.
I think that I think that maybe I have a more relaxed look at it. Maybe you don't, but I wouldn't be anxious about this. And either way, whoever wins, whether it's you or me, we'll still be leaving here friends. It's not like it's really gonna be like, okay,
It's all on the line.
let's get it on. You know
Yeah,
what I
that's
mean?
just how I perceive the situation right now.
Which is fair. Which
I
is
know that
fair.
there always is a better way to look at things, but sometimes there are just some moments where some stuff just pops into my head that makes me a bit more like tense than I should be. But I try not to let that. I try not to obsess over that too much.
You got this. I also have a
Oh,
question
thanks,
for you.
Vintage.
I also have one question for you.
Excuse me.
Do
Shoot.
you do Egg Fleet Warp without Team Blast?
No.
No. Okay. I was wondering if that was an advantage because I don't. I do Team Blast.
All right, so
So
that makes us even then.
I don't do the other thing where they do the hammer twirl and then tornado. No, this is too much for me.
Well, we'll see, we'll see. But hey, like you said there, at the end of the day, whatever happens, happens. You both come away from this feeling good, feeling proud and happy. But to ask this question, I'll start with you, Bacon. What time do you think wins you this race? What time do you think you need to get within your realms in order to stand a chance of beating Bacon? What time are you going to walk away from this feeling happy with?
Well, considering that Vintage usually is like consistent with like a 40 or a 39, usually on like a 38 pace. I'd say probably like a time kind of close to my PB if I'm being completely honest.
Mhm.
Which I know is not the most impossible thing ever because my PB is like not really that good. But I do say that I'd have to play like an equal skill level of what I was back when I got that 38 in order to win this race.
Oh, we shall see then. And then the same question to you, Vintage. What are you needing to bust out here? What are you needing to put on the table in order to come away with the win?
Time wise, I have not a clue. I mean, until we start running, I have no clue. But what I will say is, I have a very strong history of throwing in Ocean Palace. It's happened to me at least 3 times. So
That's another
as
advantage
long
I have against you.
as long as you get past Ocean Palace and I get past Ocean Palace, I should be okay. But I'm curious. I'm curious. But I don't know time wise.
Hey, but anything
what
happens
would
in a
you-
race.
What would you walk away feeling happy with?
I walk away feeling happy with anything. But typically my my races and my times, I think the best time that I've gotten was a 39. So it would be nice to get a 38 in one of these races. And I'll probably play risky, but I'll probably play safe and risky at the same time, depending on where Bacon is and where I am. So
No, we'll see.
we're
We'll
bound
see.
to see.
We'll play it on the fly. But yeah, no. So there you go. Now this is the question that I specifically wanted to get to you too, Vintage, because I've had a few people mention about wanting to, go at it with you in a couple of categories, and it sounds like you've built up a little bit of a reputation among the community as the guy that some people wanna beat. So
Me? No.
when it comes to sort of people out there who you would maybe potentially like to go up against, whether in Rose LTS or any other category, I know there's plenty of people looking at you. I think GameIt mentioned earlier. I think
Sounds
KPL
alright.
is the name on a lot of people's tongues at the moment. KPL Vintage, maybe a future matchup. Is there anybody who you'd want to, take a shot at, take a chance at further down the line?
Well, right now, the first person I can think of at the top of my head is probably Venom because we're tied. We're tied to the second. I mean, come on
Yes,
now.
you will.
I mean, once KPL, has some free time and has some D-Rust in him, then I think that's a different story. I do think that KPL might be a little upset that I got the 37 before him. Because he is on road to getting it. I think that if he had more time, it would be perfect. And I think Game right now is focusing more on Chaotix. And I'm curious to see if he's going to come back to Rose now that the GSA, LTA runs are over. And they all did really good. The whole event was really cool. And the fact that pretty much all of them PB'd, I think that's pretty good. And I think that just shows how, how many people evolve from doing these types of races. Whether it's, all day or whether it's, every once in a while. Like when I was doing the tournament, even though I commentated a little more than I should have, pretty much, I'd say half the amount of people that did the races PB'd. So it was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, for sure. It's always a great way to kind of just get yourself playing the game more, if nothing else, So, yeah, absolutely. Seeing you go up against Venom, or whether it's KPL or Game or anybody of those sort of bracket, or even Bacon here, right now. There's a lot of people, who want to go up against you.
A long time rivalry.
There's a long list.
Bacon always says
You've always
I'm his mortal enemy.
You're my favorite arch nemesis. Vintage.
There's a long list of people who want to have it out with Vintage McNugget, so I'm sure this won't be the last we'll see of you. But yeah, no. So same question to you then, Bacon. If you were going to be looking at any other categories out there that you take part in, or whether the same categories, or anybody on your list who you'd like to maybe take a shot at?
I've been in the background. I've been taking a shot at Team Chaotix LTS, and first, I don't know what. I still haven't learned every split or stage in the game yet. I'm still in the halfway point of learning the run and everything. So I have no idea who I would want to go for in that category. I have no idea what time I want to get. I still have yet to decide. But Chaotix, from what I have attempted to learn, is a really cool category.
Well, there you go. Yeah, no, for sure. So, would like
I
to
don't
see
know.
you,
I saw you playing a different game beforehand on the Discord. Discord told me you're playing something else. I'm curious if you're thinking about picking that game up.
What were you saying?
I was
playing Vintage Leaks here.
I was playing SADX because I just felt like playing the game casually. And I was don't worry, I was playing with I know it's the PC port, but I was playing with mods to make the game better.
No, I just thought that you were thinking about picking up a different game. That's why I mentioned it. I was gonna be quiet about it.
Vintage is like Mr. Burns, but the Sonic Heroes. You're not leaving. You're here forever.
That you saw me playing SADX on my Discord profile, and I got worried that you were gonna ridicule me for playing the crappy PC port of SADX.
No. I wasn't gonna do that. I only do that to Strawberry Jam when she decides to boot up Dolphin SA2. That's when I do that.
That's certainly.
And don't worry, I exclusively play the PC port with mods.
Don't worry.
So you don't have to worry about that.
I can send you the coupon.
Don't worry, so do we, and we're speedrunners.
We all can.
Anyway, but no, there you go. Well, then let's just kind of talk about elsewhere then. So we've spoken about, you mentioned Team Chaotix there, obviously as a category. Obviously something that we've got on this card. We've got Drywall and GameIt facing off against each other. But just across the whole card, is there anything that's caught your eye? Anything that you're kind of looking at and thinking, yeah, I'm going to tune in for that one? Anything that you're looking forward to catching in particular? I'll ask you first, Bacon.
I'm catching for. Wait, so what do you mean by that? I'm
So
sorry.
What
the other
game do you think
matches.
you're gonna pick up?
No, the other matches
Okay.
on the Rival Battles card. So like Game It versus Drywall. We got Drum Basher versus their.
Oh, I'm gonna
Dauntless.
I'm gonna try to catch like whatever I can at the moment. Like currently, I've been like sort of away from like social media a little bit because I just feel like recently I've been using it too much and not really doing a lot of productive things. But I wouldn't say that what we're doing right now is not productive. But still, I'll be able to. I'll definitely try to like tune in and like catch whatever I can.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I would love to see you there. And hopefully tune in for your own race, obviously, because it'd be a bit of a problem if you don't.
Oh, I don't know about that. I might not be present for that.
I don't know.
Well,
I
there
might
you go.
not be either. I
The
might
same
take a
question
nap
for you.
beforehand.
Same question to you then, Vintage. Anything that just caught your
What for who's gonna win?
eye? Just for rival battles.
For me?
You know, any matches that you kind of like the look of.
Well, I got it pulled up so graciously of Tethys to pin it. Let's see. So the people that if I'm trying to gauge on who's gonna win what,
We're getting
this is
we're getting
wrong.
a full list of predictions from you right now.
Yeah, this is it. Well, Yoshi
Okay.
Puff's my boy. As much as I love Refrag, Yoshi Puff's my boy. Shout out to
Mhm.
Yoshi Puff. I'd say Game is more my boy, but if Drywall practices and Drywall tries to, you know, tries to better his time and stuff like that, like actually puts in the work, I think Drywall will beat Game. Just because Drywall is very consistent, but he doesn't do much practice, if that makes sense. He's a very good runner. Dawn will probably beat Emerald. Dawn is extremely consistent, and I remember when Dawn was always on the grind in SA2. Because I believe that's what they're playing, right?
Yeah. Both of them on their Frontiers things at the moment, so I don't know. It might be a little bit of a Rusty Hero story run, but hey, obviously two top
Hey, it
runners.
might be. But you know what? They all play every other game all at the same time. So I wouldn't be shocked if Dawn's grinding out right now. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. Obviously, me versus Bacon, I'm gonna win. Let's be honest. No, I'm joking. That's just me being a jerk. But
talk your shit.
Probably more than likely me, just because Bacon hasn't, put in the time yet. He'll get there. You got this. I believe in you.
Why, thank you. I appreciate it so much.
The road grind.
I can get there too.
I've been on the road.
It's just a matter of putting in more time, like you said.
You got
I completely agree with you.
But I think you taking a break, taking a step back, a well-deserved step back, I think that's fine. That's fine.
Of course, everybody should have the choice to just like put their feet up every once in a while and just like space everything out and just like enjoy life for once.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Spacebar versus Pasta. I don't know who Pasta is. I hate to
Nova
break it to
Delight.
you. I don't know.
Wow.
I feel like an Amy Story race would be pretty interesting though. I don't really recall ever something like an Amy Story race in SADX happening.
There's been
I
CAG.
don't know Pasta. I'm gonna say Spacebar.
Wow, I can't believe it. Vintage
I
not knowing Fast and Nova Delight.
I don't. I also don't know. Well, I don't know if. I don't know both of them. I really don't talk to both. I talked to Revere, right? How do I say
Reverie. Their name.
I talked to Reverie like once or twice, but nothing. I don't know who plays better, so I'm not saying anything. Drum versus Hedera.
We're saying that.
That's a tough one. Because Drum's really good, Same with Hedera. Hedera picked up what? Sonic Heroes got a 39, like literally 2 runs in. Come on.
Something like that.
Hedera is just good at anything she touches. So I want to say Hedera, but I also want to say Drum.
Ooh.
So
Go on, you gotta call it. You gotta call it.
no, I can't. I don't know if I can.
You gotta choose
Man.
it.
I don't know if I can. Well, I mean, it is the big event. It is the big event. I want to say Hedera, man. I love
Okay.
Drum.
All right. Okay. Vintage is Team
I love
Hedera.
Drum. I love Drum, but it's gotta be Hedera, man. Hedera's just
Interesting.
good at
Interesting.
everything. But Drum is good too. I mean, Drum has a really good time. I think Drum's ahead of Hedera, but Drum's work towards that. Hedera is just really good at just getting stuff like at the top right out the gate. So that's what I think.
For sure. No, there you go. Well, we'll see. We'll see how those Mystic McNugget predictions come through. You know, we'll see. We'll see if it works out.
Let's see if I win bingo, guys.
We'll see. If we somehow come back to this and either everything you said is correct or everything you said is wrong, that's gonna be great. But
It's gonna be really funny when I get everything right and then I get my own prediction about myself wrong. That's gonna be the funny one.
I pretty much only have like my own predictions for like the different heroes. No, just the one heroes race that we have here, as well as the Dawn versus Emerald hero story. Personally, I agree that Dawn may win. He has a very high chance of winning that one. Drywall and Game It. I feel like Drywall is a very easy contender to be the winner for that Team Chaotix race. If I'm being completely honest.
But
I don't mean
know,
any
because they
disrespect to
both
Game It.
They both really grind. But I don't know. Drywall might be a little tired from the GSA. So I don't as much as I want to say Drywall, but it might be Game. We don't know. It'll be a wait and see, right?
We can only wait and see. Absolutely.
And I also don't mean any disrespect to anybody who I think is not going to win. It's just purely a prediction.
Yeah, that's all it is. You know, but no. So yeah, no. I'm excited to see how that turns out now. Very much interested in seeing how things go. We got the bold predictions there. We'll see. But let's move away from this card for the time being, and let's talk about if either of you could make a matchup, any runner, any game, any set of runners, I should say, any game, any category. What are you choosing? What's your dream matchup for a rival battle?
Ooh. I'll let Bacon go first because I gotta think.
Come on, Bacon.
Okay.
Anything that stands out to you?
So, I would say Sonic LTS race. And actually, no. Yeah, Sonic LTS race. With the two racers being the two top runners that, like the two runners that have the two top times right now for them for that category on the board, Deku and Aura.
Deku or Sonic LTS. Now that is a good one. Deku and Aura is one that like probably just has to happen eventually, right? Like in some way or some form, because those two are such just top runners.
They raced the Dark LTS in the Strawberry Gems series, Invitational series, and I'm kind of curious to see how a Sonic LTS race between them would go.
Can't believe Jam's getting Deku versus Aura on her tournament, but here we are, not able to on ours. God damn it. Stealing all the stars. Look what we've got, Vintage versus Bacon.
I thought it was all
the biggest stars of them all.
You know, I wouldn't have asked for anything else.
The iconic duo.
Absolutely.
I have two. I have two that I would like to see rival battles. I would like to see a rival battle with Disintegration and Jam right now.
Oh, interesting one. New kids on the block.
They have very close times and they're good friends with each other. And Disintegration's Jam's mod and Jam and Disintegration are very good friends. So it would be very cool to see them both versus each other.
No, for sure,
now, For my second, I want to see Deku versus Terrell in Sonic Unrestricted.
That was, I think,
Oh
think
yeah,
what
Trell.
I
True.
think Game It and Drywall mentioned that in the last interview as well. Sounds like Trell has just
That's what I
come
want to say.
swinging.
Well,
It sounds like.
Well, Bacon
Yeah,
hasn't
Trell
been here.
just. I feel like Trell just came out of nowhere.
Terrell's been in the community for such a long time, but now he has a record, so it's gonna be good to see.
Sort of
I don't know if
pops
you
up
heard about that.
time to
Did you hear
time.
about that, Bacon?
That he has the record.
He has a Team Sonic Unrestricted record by 1.5 minutes, and Bob Deku.
Insane.
Dude,
Dude,
that is insane.
Good answer. Good answer. That's what I want to see. So if you
It's
can get
more
that,
than
that happening
insane.
for next Rivals battle, I'm just saying that'd be pretty cool. I don't know if
It'd be
Terrell would
interesting.
want to do it though.
Well,
Terrell
we'll see.
Terrell
We'll see.
focuses on himself and focuses on the runs, his physical runs. He can care less about his position on the leaderboard.
Yeah, yeah.
So-
No, that's fair. That's fair.
So I'm curious to see because they're both really good runners. That should be the next rival battle. That should be the next headliner. And
We'll see.
I would
We'll
be
see.
excited. And
I mean, hey,
I'd
you
want
know,
to see that.
it's all taken on board. We'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can make happen. You know, if the people want to see it and if the people want to do it, it'll happen. We'll find out.
I mean,
But yeah.
if two people said that, then you know, I think that might be a sign. I'm just saying.
Well, we'll see. You know, it sounds like a hot one on paper. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, and I think that probably just about brings us to the end of it, gamers. So yeah, thank you for hopping on in. It's been a good one. Had a lot of stuff to say, and it's been pretty good listening. It's been really interesting, actually. Fun hearing you
Thanks.
talk. But yeah, no, I would. I'll say that'll be that. I'll say we'll sign things off here now.
I'll
Alright.
give one more shout out. I'll give one more shout out to the Heroes community
mhm.
because I know a lot of them are going to be watching, and a lot of them are gonna, have a lot of fun watching game versus Drywall, and then me versus Bacon, along with everyone for going to Jam's event. And I'm excited to see what the future holds for Sonic Heroes. We'll see.
Absolutely.
We'll see.
100%. And in terms of a final message for you to send to your opponent, Vintage, do you have anything left to say to Bacon before we sign off?
I don't want him to stress over this run. As much as I want to beat his ass, I don't want him to stress. You got this, buddy.
Thank
And
you.
Bacon,
Thank you,
anything you want to
enemy.
say?
My message to Vintage is I will bop you eventually. I will get a 36.
I know.
Write it down.
I'm just
Chiseling stone.
enjoying the time now, okay? Let me have my moment.
Well, we'll see. It's definitely going to be a good one for sure. So thank you once again, gamers, for hopping on. We'll see you soon. Very
Absolutely
soon.
no problem.
This was
Back
a
here
lot
on-
of fun. Thank you
back here
for
on March
finally
12th.
having pre-interviews.
Yeah, no.
Pre-game interviews.
Yeah,
I'm
you're a fan?
excited. I am a fan. I've been wanting this for a while.
It's cool, isn't it? You know,
It
and
was
it's
very
like,
nice to be participating in this. I think this was really, really neato, and I do wish Vintage the best of luck at winning against me.
I wish the same for you.
well, we'll see.
Thank you.
We shall see.
We will
But yeah,
see.
thank you, gamers. We'll sign things off there. Catch it back here on March 4th. Dawn against, Drum against Tadera main event. Vintage and Bacon facing off in Rose LTS. Don't go anywhere else. Catch it on Caesar. But for now, enjoy the rest of your day. Take care, gamers, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.